गुड मॉर्निंग चिल्ड्रन। इस वीडियो में हम लोग मोलर कंडक्टिविटी पर डाइल्यूशन का क्या इफ़ेक्ट होता है इसके बारे में स्टडी करेंगे और ये एक इम्पॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है इलेक्ट्रोकेमिस्ट्री का। सो नाउ वेरिएशन ऑफ मोलर कंडक्टेंस विद डाइल्यूशन। व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन वी ऐड वाटर और सॉल्वेंट to the electrolyte solution. Now on adding water, then the dissociation of electrolyte increases. So with dissociation, the number of ion in the solution also increases. So if we see the effect of this dilution on the molar conductivity of weak electrolyte and strong electrolyte, then we notice the different types of variations in the molar conductivities. Now if we see the impact of dilution on conductance and specific conductance, then with dilution conductance increases, molar conductance increases, but specific conductance decreases. Why specific conductance decreases? Because we have seen that the specific conductance is the conducting power of solution which is present which is in 1 centimeter cube, or conducting power of all the ions present in 1 centimeter cube of the solution. So that is specific conductance. So since with the dilution the number of ions per unit volume decreases, so that's why specific conductance decreases but molar conductance increases and conductance increases with dilution. Now we will see the variation of molar conductance for weak and strong electrolyte. Now if you see how the molar conductivity varies in case of weak and strong electrolyte, then it can be clear with the help of this graph where it is drawn between molar conductivity and square root of concentration according to Debye-Huckel-Onsager equation. Lambda m c equal to lambda m infinity minus a square root c. So now from the graph it is clear. First we will take for strong electrolyte. With dilution, the molar conductivity of strong electrolyte changes. But if you see the effect, then it is very less. The variation in molar conductivity on dilution is very less, and it seems to be becoming constant when the dilution is approaching towards the lower concentrations and towards the zero. So now it is becoming constant, and if we extrapolate this line, then it intersects this molar conductivity axis at this very point, which is called as molar conductivity at infinite dilution. So it is clear it can be this limiting value of molar conductivity. Limiting value of molar conductivity means the highest value of molar conductivity, or it is the molar conductivity at infinite dilution. Infinite dilution means when the concentration of electrolyte tends to zero. So when the concentration is nearly zero, it tends to zero, so that solution is treated as infinitely dilute solution. So in case of a strong electrolyte, it can be easily achieved. So now how this behavior of a strong electrolyte can be explained as: for a strong electrolyte, the value of lambda m depends upon the interionic attractions only. With addition of solvent or with dilution, the ions move away from each other and the interionic attraction decreases, mobility increases. That's why the molar conductance increases, but the relative increase is not much. This is because the number of ions in the solution of strong electrolyte remain the same. It does not change with dilution. It means whatever the number of ions are here at this very concentration, same will be the number of ion here also at this concentration, same will be here. So now there is no change in the number of ions, but the only thing is changing is the interactions between solute and solute, means ion-ion interaction, as well as the ion and solvent interaction. So that changes. So this can be explained with the help of this equation, which is called as Debye-Huckel-Onsager equation. Lambda m c equal to lambda m infinity minus a root c square root c, where square root c is the square root of concentration. Now a is a constant that depends upon the nature of solvent and temperature. Now lambda mc is the molar conductivity at any particular concentration. Lambda m infinity is the limiting value of molar conductivity. So from here it is clear, if the concentration tends to 0, if this square root c tends to 0, so this will be 0. So now lambda mc will be equal to lambda m infinity. So it can be practically obtained for strong electrolyte. But what happens in case of weak electrolyte? Actually, weak electrolyte, as you know, that the electrolyte which never undergoes 100% dissociation. But what happens with the dilution? The degree of dissociation of weak electrolyte keep on increasing. So if degree of dissociation keep on increasing, then the number of ion changes at every dilution. So the number of ion actually increases with the dilution. As we know that if there is more number of ions, then the conductivity will increase. That's why the relative increase in case of weak electrolyte is greater as compared to in case of strong electrolyte like KCl. Now if you see again the graph for the variation of molar conductivity with decrease in concentration, then you notice that initially what is the change here, when the concentration decreases, the molar conductivity of weak electrolyte changes. First it changes slowly, but after some times, as we add more and more water, the number of ion increases, and after some times it changes abruptly and it becomes parallel to the molar conductivity axis. So now it is clear that it is never going to touch this molar conductivity axis. So practically it is not possible to determine the molar conductivity limiting value for any weak electrolyte, as from the graph it is clear that it will never intersect the molar conductivity axis. So lambda m depends upon degree of dissociation for weak electrolyte, and this degree of dissociation is denoted as alpha. It is equal to lambda m c upon lambda m infinity, and this lambda m infinity cannot be obtained graphically or practically. So how it can be done? This can be done by an indirect method that is called as Kohler's law, by the use of Kohler's law. So let us see what is Kohler's law. Actually Kohler's studied the conductivity of different electrolytes and what is the impact of variation of the counter ions on the molar conductivity of the electrolyte. Then what he noticed is that can be explained in the form of Kohler's law. According to Kohler's law, at infinite dilution, when the dissociation of electrolyte is complete, each ion makes a definite and independent contribution towards the molar conductivity of electrolyte. So if the dilution is infinite, it means now the ions are moving independently. There is no sort of attraction between them. So that's why this is also called as the Kohler's law of independent migration of ion. Now this contribution of ion is irrespective of the presence of other ion in the solution. It does not depend the presence of other ion in the solution. It is irrespective of presence of other ion in the solution. It means the contribution of ion is completely independent of other ion. It does not depend what other ion is present. So this can be understood by taking the example here. Suppose the lambda m infinity of NaCl at infinite dilution. So now it will be completely dissociated as it is a strong electrolyte. So this will be equal to the ionic conductivities of sodium ion at infinite dilution plus ionic conductivity of chloride ion at infinite dilution. Similarly, if we take the molar conductivity at infinite dilution of NaBr, so this will be equal to ionic conductivity of sodium ion plus ionic conductivity of bromide ion at infinite dilution. Now if you notice the contribution of these ions, so in first case, in first electrolyte NaCl, the contribution of sodium ion is X ohm inverse centimeter square per mole, and chloride ion is Y ohm inverse centimeter square per mole. In second case, the contribution of sodium ion is again X, but the bromide ion is Z. It means the contribution of sodium ion is becoming independent. It is X here when it is with bromide ion. It is again X here when it is with chloride ion. So that's why if the dilution is infinite, then each ion makes a definite and independent contribution towards the molar conductivity of electrolyte. It does not depend upon the presence of other ion in the solution. For example, as is here, that the contribution of sodium ion towards the molar conductivity is fixed. It is X. It does not depend whether the sodium ion is with chloride ion in the solution or the sodium ion is with bromide ion in the solution, but the contribution remains fixed, that is X. So mathematically it can be, Collard's law can be expressed as lambda m infinity equal to nu plus lambda plus infinity, that is the ionic conductivity of cation, and lambda negative infinity, that is ionic conductivity of anion, and nu plus is the number of cation furnished by one formula unit. Similarly, nu minus is the number of anions contributed by one formula unit, and lambda m plus and lambda minus infinity are the ionic conductivities. For example, if you take the case of sodium chloride, so when it dissociates, it gives Na plus and Cl minus. So nu plus, that is the number of cation furnished by each formula unit, is 1. It gives 1 sodium ion, and nu minus, that is number of anion, is also 1. Now similarly, if you take magnesium chloride, so what will be nu plus? So nu plus will be 1, but what will be nu minus? It will be 2, because 1 magnesium chloride, 1 formula unit gives 2 chloride ion in the aqueous solution. So nu minus will be 2. So ionic contributions are multiplied by the number of times the ion present in the solution of electrolyte. So children, this is Collard's law. This is very important and question very often asked from this topic in the board examinations. So this topic should be taken very seriously, and it should be understood clearly. Now we will learn about the applications of Collard's law. Here the first application is in determination of lambda m infinity for weak electrolyte. As you have seen in graphical method, that it is not possible to determine lambda m infinity for weak electrolyte. So this can be done by indirect method from Collard's law by using the contributions from a strong electrolyte whose determination is easier. Now we will write in this manner: lambda m infinity for acetic acid, it is to be determined, it is weak electrolyte, but you will be given this data about the lambda m infinity for sodium acetate, HCl, and sodium chloride. So what you have to simply do is, so first you see that what electrolyte is given whose molar conductivity at infinite dilution is asked. So suppose here it is acetic acid is given, then you have to search the contribution of its ions in the given values. For example, जो एसिटिक एसिड की लैम्डा एम इन्फिनिटी फाइंड आउट करना है, सो दिस विल बी इक्वल टू आयनिक कंडक्टिविटीज ऑफ एसीटेट आयन प्लस आयनिक कंडक्टिविटी ऑफ H प्लस आयन. अब जो वैल्यूज़ दी गई हैं उनमें आपको ये देखना है कि एसीटेट आयन का कंट्रीब्यूशन आपको कहाँ मिलेगा, सोडियम एसीटेट में. H प्लस का कंट्रीब्यूशन कहाँ मिलेगा, हाइड्रोजन क्लोराइड में, आपको HCl में मिलेगा. तो अगर हम इन दोनों के कंट्रीब्यूशन को जोड़ लें तो हम यहाँ पर ये देख रहे हैं कि क्या कंट्रीब्यूशन एक्सेस हो रहा है. इन फर्स्ट केस सोडियम आयन इज बिकमिंग एक्सेस और दूसरे केस में क्लोराइड आयन का कंट्रीब्यूशन एक्सेस हो रहा है. तो अगर हम सोडियम आयन और क्लोराइड आयन जो यहाँ एक्सेस कंट्रीब्यूशन हो रहा है उसके कंट्रीब्यूशन को यहाँ से जो लैम्डा एन इन्फिनिटी फॉर सोडियम क्लोराइड दिया गया है उसको माइनस कर दें तो हमें जो वैल्यू मिलेगी वो हमारा रिक्वायर्ड वैल्यू होगी. दैट विल बी द मोलर कंडक्टिविटी एट इनफाइनाइट डाइल्यूशन ऑफ वीक इलेक्ट्रोलाइट दैट इज एसिटिक एसिड. तो यहाँ पर हमें यही करना है कि इन इक्वेशंस को हम एल्जेब्रिक इक्वेशंस की तरह जोड़ घटा गुणा भाग सब कुछ कर सकते हैं. बस हमें रिक्वायर्ड इक्वेशन ले आना है. रिक्वायर्ड इक्वेशन क्या होगी कि हमारा जो इलेक्ट्रोलाइट है उनमें कौन कौन से आयंस हैं, उनके कंट्रीब्यूशंस को हमें कहाँ से ले आना है, स्ट्रॉन्ग इलेक्ट्रोलाइट जो गिवन वैल्यू है वहाँ से ले आना है. दूसरी वैलेंसी का हमें ध्यान में रखना है कि जो हम फार्मूला यूज़ कर रहे हैं उसमें वो आयंस कितने हैं, अकॉर्डिंगली हमको उनके कंट्रीब्यूशंस को ऐड, सब्ट्रैक्ट, डिवाइड और मल्टीप्लाई कर सकते हैं ताकि हमें रिक्वायर्ड फॉर्म मिल जाए. सो दिस इज फर्स्ट एप्लीकेशन दैट इज डिटर्मिनेशन ऑफ द लैम्डा एम इन्फिनिटी फॉर वीक इलेक्ट्रोलाइट. नाउ सेकंड इज द कैलकुलेशन ऑफ डिग्री ऑफ डिसोसिएशन ऑफ वीक इलेक्ट्रोलाइट. As we know, the degree of dissociation is the number of molecules of the electrolyte out of total number of molecules that dissociate at equilibrium to furnish ion. So alpha is equal to lambda mc upon lambda n infinity. It is the ratio of molar conductivity at particular concentration upon molar conductivity at infinite dilution. Okay. Now lambda m infinity at particular concentration or particular molarity can be obtained as kappa into 1000 upon molarity. एंड लैम्डा एम इन्फिनिटी कहाँ से आएगा, ये हमारा कोहलार्स लॉ से आ जाएगा इस तरह से. देन वी कैन फाइंड आउट द लैम्डा इन्फिनिटी दिस डिग्री ऑफ डिसोसिएशन फॉर वीक इलेक्ट्रोलाइट. नाउ सिमिलरली वी कैन यूज द कोहलार्स लॉ टू फाइंड आउट द डिसोसिएशन कांस्टेंट ऑफ वीक एसिड के ए इक्वल टू सी अल्फा स्क्वायर अपॉन 1 माइनस अल्फा. अल्फा हम यहाँ से निकाल लेंगे एंड देन वी विल पुट द वैल्यू टू फाइंड आउट के ए. एक क्वेश्चन करेंगे, द कंडक्टिविटी ऑफ 0.001 मोलर एसिटिक एसिड इतना दिया हुआ है, कैलकुलेट द डिसोसिएशन कांस्टेंट, मतलब के ए फाइंड आउट करना है. तो इसके लिए सबसे पहले अल्फा में फाइंड आउट करना पड़ेगा. लैम्डा एम इन्फिनिटी आपको दिया गया है तो सबसे पहले गिवन वैल्यूज़ लिख देते हैं, जो वैल्यूज़ दी गई हैं उनको लिखिए. फिर हम लैम्डा एम सी कैलकुलेट करेंगे, दैट इज मोलर कंडक्टिविटी एट द कंसंट्रेशन गिवन 0.001 मोलर पर मोलर कंडक्टिविटी की वैल्यू क्या होगी. सो नाउ द फार्मूला इज कैप्पा इनटू 1000 अपॉन मोलरिटी. नाउ पुट द वैल्यूज एंड सॉल्व इट. सो दिस विल बी 49.5 साइमन सेंटीमीटर स्क्वायर per mole. Okay, now next is to find out the alpha. Alpha is the ratio of lambda m at particular C, that is given concentration, upon lambda m infinity. So lambda m infinity की वैल्यू दी गई है, ये रेशियो हम फाइंड आउट करेंगे. दिस इज 0.127. नाउ चिल्ड्रन पुट दीज वैल्यूज इन द इक्वेशन. The dissociation constant K equal to C alpha square upon 1 minus alpha. Now put these values. C, that is 0.001 into 0.127 square upon this value 1 minus 0.127. So on solving you will get 1.87 into 10 raised to power minus 5. This is very important topic और बोर्ड में प्रायः इस टॉपिक से क्वेश्चन पूछे जाते हैं, इसीलिए इनके और क्वेश्चंस को आप बुक से प्रैक्टिस करेंगे. And in case of problems you can ask. And our next video will be about the electrochemical cells, which you will see in next video. Thank you.